Welcome in, my friends, to another 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10. Today is going to be another Mental Health Monday on the show here in March. Love me all them M's. Look, here's the deal. Every year that I've been working with my therapist, Jessica, who you all met on the show at the end of last year, she does a health risk assessment. And so this year, after I completed it, I said, hey, next time I see you, bring me the results of this year versus last year, right? So that would have been my feelings going into the beginning of 2020 and my feelings beginning of 2021. It takes you through this questionnaire, and it's got 20 questions on it. I'm not going to bore you with all of it. However, if anyone wants to, see it and take it for themselves, let me know. I'm happy to get you a copy of it. So some of it starts off with, more of the health and wellness side of things. Do you engage in moderate activities for outside for at least 20 to 30 minutes? I think anyone who watches the show and checks out our Friday stuff knows we're all about getting outside. So on a scale of 1 to 5, that for me, big 5. I enjoy physical activity rather than sedentary activities. Another 5, right? It gets into eating out. Like, I never really eat out to begin with. Only time I eat out is when I used to go to those freaking shows in the business and have to be eating out every day of my life. Other than that, my wife is hardcore about eating in our own home with our own food. So we do that quite a bit. Even when we travel, we do that shit. So that's legit. So there's that. Do I drink alcohol? This is an interesting one. I put down the beginning of 2020, I was having 3 drinks, a week, right? That was my number. 1 out of 5, 3 was my number. And then to start this year, I actually circled it as 2, which is pretty interesting, if you think about it, because I thought, last year it was a 2. My bad. Yeah. Last year was a 2. This year was a 3. And so I came to my wife and I said, look, this is what I did with that, and went up to 3. And she said, I don't think so. She said, I think I've seen you drink less. And I thought, it might be just in the moment, right? You got to think about that. Anytime you take a test like this, the mindset you're in the moment of the test is just as important as the mindset you were feeling over the last 365 days. Because you're still taking a test in the moment. So don't forget that. Avoid tobacco use. I don't smoke cigarettes, so I'm good there. See physicians, etc. No big deal. Of course, you should always take care. If you're going to take care of your mental health, take care of your body's health. Always check in with your doctor once a year. Get a physical. Let's not be ridiculous here. That's common sense, right? Here's the next one. I contribute time and or money to at least one organization that strives to be better in the community where I live. In 2020, I put that as a 2. It's something that I struggle with. It's one of the things I went to work on with Jessica, was understanding if there was a way for me to give back to my community, not in donations necessarily, but in time and in effort of, helping younger people or helping kids in certain situations. We've all been through some different shit in our lives, and me included, and there's some things that might, be able to talk with kids about, help them through, that I think I think would be beneficial. So she's helped me kind of see some organizations, see some involvement. So that in 2020 was a 2. And went all the way up to a 5. And that's also because my wife and I have really gotten a little bit heavier into philanthropy. Nothing major, just trying to donate to local organizations that make sense to us, that we've enjoyed watching, seeing. She follows folks online. So there's just ways that are important to us to give back. That's what we were trying to do. So that in a year of all the craziness, that number really jumped for me. And I was really happy to see that. The next one that I express my feelings of anger and frustration in ways that are not harmful to myself or others. I circle this as a 3. Now, I know that may sound crazy, and why wouldn't it be a 5, right? But because I still am hard on myself, and I still work with that self-judgment. And so, and they always say, right, no one's harder on you than you, and I believe that. So that number, though, same each year, 3. Now, I haven't changed my perspective on that, which is an interesting part of my own life. I feel that I have family and friends that I can confide in to assist in managing my stress. In 2020, I put that as a 3. Now that is a 5. And that is because of the community of people that I have built around me. It doesn't have to do with family or friends. It has to do with everything. So the LinkedIn community that I have is awesome. My local community is great. My extended family is great. So you try to tie all that together. And that's what's been important to me, is I've really been able to figure out who I can trust in my life, right? I think that's really important. The last one here that really stood out to me that I had a change in was I'm satisfied with the balance between my work time and my leisure time. In 2020, to begin that year, I put that down as a 3. At the end of that year and into the beginning of the year, that is now escalated to a 5 because that's all my life has become. That's one of the silver linings for me that came out of the whole last year, frankly. I mean, we're coming up on that year anniversary, if you will, of the whole thing starting, and I got to be honest with you, I am better off now after a year like that than I was before. And I know that might be brash to say or might not be great to hear, but it's a reality. I really struggled with doing this show because I didn't want to come on and say, oh my God, look at how great my year was. And with all the shitty things that have happened, all the terribleness, I get it. But it doesn't mean that we didn't have to grow or couldn't grow. And in my own personal life, I was able to do that. And so I know there are more stories like this, and I want to hear them. And I want people to be talking more about it. LinkedIn, I've seen it blow up recently in the mental health world in the last year, and I'm appreciative of it. And whether I had something to do with that or not, people give me credit, fine, I don't really care. What I care most about is continuing the discussion, okay? Whether that means I've had people reach out, say they started going to a therapist, buddies say they start talking more about their feelings. Whatever it takes, let's just keep pulling the rope the same direction. So that was the Mental Health Monday. Again, nothing major here, folks, just an ability to take a little insight into yourself and see how you do. So that's all for me. I want to thank you for joining, and we will see you again next week.